What's up, guys? Welcome to the Toxic Vault. Glad you can join me for another episode of Zetro's Toxic Vault. As always, I'm joined by all my friends around here that I hang out with most of the time, and of course, hanging out with you guys. I'm going to talk today because I get a lot of this from people, and I want to hear your comments. So remember to subscribe and leave me your comments because I want to know what you think, and I'll talk about them. I want to talk about being a front man today and what it takes to be a front man and what influenced me on being a front man. I mean, you could go all the way back to Elvis, and I thought he was, really did something unique as, if you're going to go with rock and roll anyway, he was obviously the first one that did kind of something unique. Wasn't necessarily an influence of mine, but a big influence as a front man. If I was to bounce to the best person example of a front man, obviously everybody has seen Bohemian Rhapsody and Queen, and Freddie Mercury was the best front man ever to live. If you watched how he carried himself on stage. And I before a tour, I'll throw in a Queen concert. They have a great one from 1981 from Montreal that they show. Actually, I see it on Access Channel quite often, and to watch the way he moves. And even if you watch Live Aid, how he works the crowd in Live Aid, I mean, it's being a front man is, if you're a slow wake-up person in the morning, drink Death Wish coffee, and believe me, you'll be running. You don't have your instrument necessarily to be hide behind. You have your personality and what you bring as your own persona to the stage. And guys that I was always enamored by. I loved Robert Plant when I was a kid. I just thought his vocal tone, his approach, and everything. I wanted to be either Jimmy Page or Robert Plant. It looked like I ended up singing, so that was kind of the way. That was the early me. I mean, my first album was my dad bought me was my first hard rock record was in '72, was when Led Zeppelin 4 came out. And so I have always liked the harder types of music. So guys like Alice Cooper, to me, just his approach, and even Kiss. I mean, not to say that one or the other is a front man, but the presentation and everything about it has so much to do with the show and being part of the band. Ronnie James Dio, to me, was another one, especially when it comes to metal, that when you look at a front man that really commanded his stage and commands the crowd and was very confident and very forthright. Lemmy, too. I mean, that goes with Rob Halford and Bruce Dickinson, all guys in the metal genre who really run a stage and know what they're doing. And when they're talking to the crowd, they know what they're saying. It comes from the heart. And I feel that that's the best way to speak to all you guys when I'm playing live is to speak to my heart. Let me know. You guys meet me out on the road all the time. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell a story about when you met me. You know how it is. And other guys that I loved, even punk, I loved Jello Biafra. I thought Jello Biafra, the way he approached, especially when early stuff with the Dead Kennedys, is just amazing. If you watch the way he is on stage, I was very fortunate to get to see him live growing up in the Bay Area. They were a San Francisco band, so I've seen them many times. I thought Joey Ramone, awesome. I mean, there really wasn't much to it, but the way he stood and held the mic, I mean, he fronted that band so great. Johnny Rotten, especially. So again, a lot of punk influences. Wendy O. Williams, I was a huge Plasmatics fan, and I loved the way she would, tape over the nipples and blowing up TVs and chainsawing shit on stage. I mean, it was all the theatrical, but being a front person, and against, of course, all the other cohorts that I have in thrash metal, and I don't need to name them all. They're all very, credible front man. I think the genre has definitely reached out to other people, in newer bands that listen to it. But if I was to go with all my influences. Ted Nugent. I love Ted Nugent. Seeing him at a day on the green come swinging out on a vine, and jumping on the stage. I mean, he was a madman, and so Klaus Meine from the Scorpions, amazing front man, knows what he's doing. His craft is, there's just so many, but to me, those were pretty much my influences and guys that I looked up to and guys that I wanted to emulate. Bon Scott, obviously. I have my own AC/DC tribute band, AC/DC, right here. Have you got yours? Zetro's Toxic Vault t-shirts. Be the first one at the next concert to have one. Go to greyhavenmedia.net and get yours now. And I only do Bon Scott era AC/DC. And again, the way Bon carried himself on stage and the way he worked with Angus was what a front man does, and working well with your band and working well with the crowd. You're kind of like the cheerleader out there. You're the voice to the people. The band is, the guitar players are the guitar players, the drummers are the drummers, the bass players are the bass players. And yes, they do talk. Some of them, I give Tom Hunting the mic all the time, almost every night, so he can talk to the crowd. But I'm the guy that they're looking at. The front man, the singer, is the guy that everybody's usually looking at, and that's where the craft is. So any of you young guys out there, be yourself. You trying to say, wow, how do I become a real good front man and a good singer? Be prepared. Number one, know your lyrics in your head. Secondary, I always do. And always be aware of what's going on in the crowd. If you see something cool or something funny that you see, talk about it after the song. If you're going to have a break and you're not going right into the next song, point it out. The fans love that kind of stuff. I do that all the time. I point out people, or I point out them having a good time, or I tell them they need to cool it in the pit because they're getting a little bit violent. But other than that, you're kind of the ringleader. You're running the show. So let me know what you guys think. Go ahead right here, subscribe to my channel, and leave some comments and let me know what you think, and I'll talk about them from time to time. Thanks for being in the vault.